results are in. What's wrong?
You're still in love with Dante, aren't you? What happened to Sam wasn't a mistake. It was intentional.
Someone murdered my daughter?
What a tragedy they killed off Sam just to bring in this ridiculous fake Lulu Spencer. Really? Like that was a necessary upgrade. And seriously, why is Chase even near that little sleaze Willow? I'm just waiting for her to figure out what a snake Drew is. And then, of course, she'll be off to Chase, sobbing about it. It's practically guaranteed. But I cannot wait to see what Curtis and Nina cook up to take Drew down. With her deviousness and his, well, whatever passes for intelligence these days, they might actually manage to get him out of both Aurora and Willow's life for good. Fingers crossed. And don't even get me started on Brennan. He sees on tape that Cyrus stabbed Dex, but for some reason, he can't or won't tell the police because it's WSB surveillance. Really? And he's just okay with it? Like that makes zero sense. It's like they're begging us to tune out. Oh, and please tell me we're not gearing up for another infertility storyline. Haven't we just been through that with TJ and Molly? It doesn't even matter if it's the guy or the girl. This show just loves to recycle the same tired plots. How original. And can we please, for the love of all that is decent, get rid of Drew already? He's as boring as a beige wall. Willow really needs to stop wearing her helpless hat and start thinking for herself. Honestly, I kind of love for it to come out that Nina and Drew slept together, just so Willow can see what a gem he truly is. That'd be priceless. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Messy Syrup. It's me, Abby, here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching. So let's dive into today's video. Drew's only hope for a redemption arc at this point is if it's revealed he's got brain damage from some traumatic injury, or maybe a tumor, or, heck, why not cobalt poisoning? Anything to explain the drastic shift in his personality. Otherwise, I'm just left here, wondering who swapped Drew out for this completely different version of him. And then there's his brilliant idea to have Lucy find him a 5-bedroom house for just him and Scout. Because who needs more people, right? I have to say, Jason's spot on here. I wouldn't trust the Port Charles police to catch a jaywalker, let alone keep track of Drew's intentions. Speaking of dramatic twists, I knew right away Chase was the reason Brooklyn couldn't get pregnant. It's sad, but not exactly shocking. And Willow, can we talk about how she's the only one in the dark about Drew and her mother's little affair? How is that even possible? Then there's Lulu, who somehow has no doctor appointments for her transplant from Sam. Honestly, what is her purpose in this storyline at this point? It's anyone's guess. Everyone's going on about Willow being separated from her children, but can we take a moment to ask, why is no one talking about Michael's right to custody? He's a great dad, and frankly, after everything that went down, why wouldn't he be entitled to his kids? Michael didn't blow up his family. That was Willow. Michael didn't take the kids out of state with her new lover. That was also Willow. In fact, Michael's shown he's more focused on his kids than Willow ever was. Tracy might not have legal custody, but she's doing what she can to protect Michael's rights. Keeping those kids in the family home is the best thing for them right now. Honestly, who's to say Tracy isn't just making sure the toxic influence of Drew stays at a safe distance while Michael gets the chance to come back, claim his kids, and maybe, just maybe, get his family back. I know it's a soap, but since when did cheating suddenly make someone an unfit parent? The Quartermaines and Carly really take the drama to the next level with their nonsense. Seriously, this whole thing is probably going to be ignored until next year, maybe. But I bet when the will is read, Monica's going to go down the list naming everything she plans to leave to everyone. And when she gets to her house, Tracy's going to be sitting there all smug, thinking it's hers. But nope, when the attorney reads Monica's words, it'll go something like this. To everyone, I leave my house. To no one. That's my house. Alan gave it to me. Could you imagine? A perfect final jab from Monica. Hilarious. And speaking of shocking, With all the questions people love to ask about character backstories, age gaps, and everything else, I'm kind of surprised no one's raising an eyebrow about Lulu, 36, and Valentin, 60-something, becoming parents to a teenage Charlotte. Like, yeah, we all know how it happened, but has no one else noticed how wild that situation is? Does anyone not think it's worth asking about, or are we just all pretending it makes perfect sense? It's a story that definitely deserves more attention. The parenting award goes to Sonny, of course. He's keeping Ava away from Avery, Carly's MIA, and Josh is off playing detective while the poor kid is left in limbo. Stellar job, Sonny. I'm sure Avery's loving the chaos. As for Drew, well, he's really taking the creepy to new heights. And Willow? She's just becoming unbearable with each passing day. The love story between them is something, but it's hard to ignore how insufferable they've both become. At least GH gets a gold star for breaking the mold with infertility issues. This time, it's the guy who's the problem. A rare and refreshing change of pace from the usual narrative. Kudos, GH. As for Drew's redemption arc, here's an idea. Maybe he has brain damage, a traumatic injury, a brain tumor, or, why not, cobalt poisoning? All solid options, since we've seen them all before. Anything really to explain the dramatic personality shift. Otherwise, there's no logical reason for this transformation into a total creep. I can totally see how Drew and Willow might have fallen for each other. I mean, life happens. But if Willow's love for Michael was so strong, wouldn't she have given him more than a passing glance? And now Drew's buying a house. Not just for him and Scout, but for Willow and her kids too. Yeah, that's not an obsession waiting to happen. He's practically one step away from becoming the next Faison. Just what we need. The eternal question, which is worse, Jason and Anna or Jason and Sasha? Let's break it down. First off, Jason and Anna. Sure, she's a little older, but hey, age is just a number, right? Except when that number screams awkward. Anna's basically Robin's mom, so yeah, that makes it a little too family for comfort. Not exactly the vibe you want for your favorite action hero. Now, Jason and Sasha. Oh, that's just a disaster waiting to happen. She's way too young for him, and do we really need him to be playing dad to Michael's baby? We've seen this movie before. Carly, AJ, and Jason. We don't need a rerun. Let's just skip that plotline entirely, shall we? If I had to pick my poison, I guess I'd lean toward Jason and Anna. But honestly, I'm over it. Why not just let Jason be a single dad for once? He doesn't need to have a woman in his life at all times. It's fine if he just focuses on his kid and does his thing. He doesn't always have to be paired up. Both pairings? A hard pass. Jason should be there for Sasha, sure, but not as her love interest. Let's keep it simple and stop trying to force these relationships. Who killed Austin? Let's put on our detective hats, or not. All right, time to play immature detective. Who killed Austin? Let's break down the obvious suspects, shall we? First up, Sonny. Oh, Sonny. This guy has a history, and not the kind you want to put on your resume. We've seen him pull off some serious hits, including Jaggers, remember that little gem? And we're all well aware he's perfectly capable of getting a gun, pulling the trigger, and doing whatever it takes to keep his baby mamas happy. No trust in Ava? Well, that's just part of his charm. I mean, he would want to protect her, right? And let's not forget, Sonny's the guy who thinks subtlety is a spice you use in a pasta dish, not a murder plot. He's a top contender here. Next, Nicholas, the guy who's never met a secret he didn't want to hide with a body. Maybe he was trying to cover up his whole rehab for a murderer story, and Austin was just the inconvenient loose end. Plus, Nicholas was practically obsessed with Ava, so if he found out Austin had a little rendezvous with her, it might have been enough to send him off the rails. But hold up, Nicholas isn't exactly known for doing his dirty work himself. He prefers to hire someone. The problem? Austin knew his killer, So unless Nicholas has a new hobby of letting random hitmen take the fall, it's probably not him. Let's toss in Cyrus for kicks. Austin had been trying to break free of his shady dealings with Cyrus, which makes sense why Cyrus would want him gone, except, why would Cyrus kill his own asset and then send pictures to Ava? Oh, and a gun, for good measure. To protect herself, of course, because that's exactly what I'd do after I murder someone. Send a threatening note to their ex-girlfriend, just in case she feels left out. Cyrus is a complicated one. He had motive, but his style, and the Ava part, is a little off. Maybe he's never even met her, but sure, let's keep him in the mix, because why not? Then there's Mason. Oh, Mason. Poor guy was busy getting ready for a one-way trip to Pentonville, so pretty sure he didn't have time to fit in a murder. And finally, the classic GH move. They probably didn't think it through at all. Let's be real. They just needed an excuse to write Austin off the show. And bam, he gets gunned down. But hey, it's not like they could be bothered to create a clean arc for the character. Roger, the actor, needed out, so here we are. But hold up, let's get serious for a second. Remember that note and the gun sent to Ava? That felt way too personal, right? Whoever did this wasn't just out for blood. They were out to send a message to her. That felt like a move from Nicholas or Valentine, both of whom have history with Ava. But let's be real, Ava moving in with Sunny after all that? Nah, that screams definitely not Sunny to me. If he had done it, she would have been dead on the floor with a note that said, "No one messes with my baby mamas, especially not Austin." Then there's Cyrus, who made the most sense in terms of motive. But that note to Ava, maybe they're trying to trick us. I mean, have Cyrus and Ava even spoken? It's a solid question. My wild guess at the time, Cyrus is Austin's long-lost father. He paid for med school after all. Maybe that's the twist we never saw coming. Anyway, who else fits? Whoever it was clearly cared enough about Ava to send those creepy pictures and a gun. I still think it's gotta be someone in the circle. But then again, it's GH, so who knows? The Sasha and Michael baby theory. Buckle up, it's speculation central. Okay, so I'm probably not the first person to throw this out there, but here's a wild theory about Sasha and Michael's baby. And no, I'm not sure if I should mark this as a spoiler, but let's be real, this is just me thinking aloud, so proceed with caution. Let's talk about this genetic heart defect that seems to run through the Quartermaines like it's a family heirloom. First, AJ had it, then Michael, and guess what? Wiley has it too. So wouldn't it just be classic if Sasha and Michael's baby inherited the same defect? Naturally, that would spark all kinds of questions about who the real father is. Sasha could probably try the old, "Oh, what a coincidence. My baby has the exact same heart issue as AJ and Michael." But considering she's been living with the Quartermaines, who have, a few secrets up their sleeves, I'm betting no one's buying it. Then, of course, I can see the writers throwing us a bone with the most absurd, completely out-of-nowhere plot twist. Jason and Sasha become a thing. Like, really? Why? But hey, in Soap World, anything's possible. Maybe Jason would claim the baby is his to cover for Sasha, since, surprise, surprise, he's also a Quartermaine, and could be passing on this totally not fun heart defect like AG did. Honestly though, this whole scenario is a hard pass for me, because Jason and Sasha? Really? Not my dream pairing. And while we're on this whole genetics thing, there's also the birthmark. Remember that little family trademark? It's apparently been passed down from Alan and AJ, and possibly a few other Quartermaine males too. I'm not sure if they hand them out at family reunions or what. Anyway, Sasha's baby could totally rock that birthmark. And guess who's gonna notice? Everyone. Monica tried this little trick before with AJ. Remember when she tried to pass him off as Rick's kid? Yeah, that didn't go so well thanks to the birthmark. So Sasha's kid is definitely walking around with that thing. I'm guessing Michael might want to talk to Sasha about this little genetic inheritance, but who knows? Maybe it's just me reading way too much into it. But hey, if that baby ends up inheriting the heart defect, yeah, you can bet your bottom dollar it's going to raise a lot of eyebrows. The moment Curtis shut down Drew was chef's kiss, perfectly satisfying. Drew, that colossal idiot, thought he could waltz in and reclaim his company while Michael's lying in a hospital bed, all while trying to rope Curtis into his shady plans. Honestly, Drew's brain seems to have taken a permanent vacation. Seriously, what happened to him in prison? Did he get smacked around so badly that his entire personality was rewired? Because it's like watching someone go from semi-competent to complete disaster. And that beatdown he took, I mean, how many Navy SEALs would crumble that easily? Lucky looks tougher than the entire SEAL team combined at this point. Not that I'm complaining, it's just, wow. And Willow, don't even get me started. The perpetual damsel in distress routine is beyond annoying at this point. No surprises there though, but Drew, he's done a full 180, never was a fan, but now he's a full-fledged jerk. I'm honestly not sure he can come back from this, but let's be real, writers love their redemption arcs. Here's hoping they don't jam Drew's redemption down our throats like some forced, tasteless meal. And let's talk about the threat he tried to make to Curtis. That right there is exactly why Curtis doesn't trust him. Drew's a walking disaster. How the hell is this guy not in Washington dealing with some serious political messes instead of playing corporate games? But honestly, the whole scene felt like it was written by someone who doesn't understand basic business. Curtis being CEO doesn't magically give him the power to sell Michael's shares to Drew. Michael's the majority shareholder of Aurora, not Curtis. If Drew wants those shares, he needs to talk to Michael's financial POA. Probably a Q, and guess what? They're going to tell him to get lost. So yeah, great plan, Drew. Real solid. So in a super casual conversation on the latest episode, Stella decides to drop this little bombshell about the loss of Molly and TJ's baby. She casually mentions seeing a baby in the hospital that looked just like TJ. Now, maybe I'm overanalyzing, but could this be hinting that the surrogate didn't actually miscarry? I mean, it's a soap opera, so anything is possible, right? And for those of you out there getting hung up on the math of it all, don't bother, it's GH. If anything, it's the least confusing thing about this show. Also, just a small detail, did you know Jordan's technically too young to be TJ's mom? But whatever. Let's throw that logic out the window. So, what grade are we all giving Michael's, Chad Duell's exit, and who, exactly, decided to send him off in a fiery blaze of glory? Was that the writers, the EP, or Frank pulling the strings? Honestly, I'd give it a C. It was a bit too graphic for my taste. I mean, seriously, I was kind of hoping for a Gone Boy situation. Michael fakes his death, frames Drew, you know, a little Gone Girl twist. But alas, that dream was dashed. I get it though, he would have had to leave his kids behind for that to work. And, well, even the writers know that's a no-go. So fine, I'll take a different kind of exit. Honestly, I wouldn't have been mad if he just took the kids and went into hiding. Maybe like after accidentally killing Drew in the process. Come on, then the best exits would have involved him getting some sweet revenge on Drew, especially considering how much the audience hates Drew these days. It would have made perfect sense, but nope, instead we got the lighter fluid and fire approach. Because why not? I'm just holding out hope that his eventual return is a little more satisfying, you know. Like, let's see a darker, more manipulative Michael, whether or not Chad Duell is back. Drew deserves that wrath, and Willow, she shouldn't get off so easily either. I'll bump it up to a B though, because let's face it, it was better than just killing him off without a body, like they did with Jason. At least here, we got an actual story out of it, and it's clear Michael isn't dead. There's room for a return, and that's a good thing. Plus, I'll give them credit. Sending him out in a horrific fire, is one of the most memorable GH scenes in a while. It also let them keep the whole affair angle alive, with Willow playing hostage. They could have easily just had him leave town all mopey and depressed, but no, instead, we got this. And honestly, as ridiculous as it was probably one of the more interesting exits they could have pulled off. How about giving TJ a real love story for once? I mean, since he and Molly are officially over, why not pair him up with Willow? That'd at least make Willow interesting again, and hey, at least it'd get her away from Drew, or better yet, throw him together with Sasha. Or, I don't know, introduce a brand new character and make her the one for TJ. It actually kind of makes sense. They've got a history. They were friends when she was sick, both work at the hospital, and, surprise, both just got out of relationships. I can totally picture them commiserating in the break room, then hitting up the brown dog for a drink after work. Definitely not Charlie's. Christina would probably blow a gasket if she saw them. Oh, and don't even get me started on the surrogate with the miscarriage. I'm just waiting for her to pop up with a baby that, somehow, looks way too much like TJ. I mean, at this point, anybody who'd have a man like TJ taking his shirt off as much or more than Drew or Chase gets my vote. What a waste of such an amazing character. Now, pairing TJ with someone who has kids or is expecting could definitely stir things up, especially with his and Molly's surrogacy drama. But Sasha? Maybe not. I'm pretty sure TJ would want to know who the baby's real father is and make sure there's zero chance of that kid getting snatched away or lost. But with Willow, he'd at least know the players in her world. When it comes to the adults messing with the kids, at least TJ would have a decent idea of the game he's stepping into. Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you agree or disagree? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more updates. Your opinions matter, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.